Recently saw a cartoon by an anesthetist. So he visualized a neurosurgeon's clinic with a neurosurgeon sitting over there, with the patient in front of him, and the patient telling him, "I want to undergo a brain surgery." Thankfully, the neurosurgeon picks up what he's there for and he tells him, "I know you don't need one neurosurgery. I know this has happened to me 3 or 4 times already in the last 1 week. People are coming to me for a neurosurgery, getting admitted, getting a nice haircut, and then running away." So that is what, in a funny way, that is what the absence of barber readily available does to you. And in the times of the lockdown, I think it is okay to not get a good haircut. But yes, there was a time when we could just walk out and get ourselves a haircut. And I'd like to recollect one of those episodes where I had an encounter with a weird hairdresser. I was in my first year of residency in neurosurgery. I went to a barber for a haircut. So this guy had done a reasonable job with the hair, had trimmed it nicely, and he asked me at the end of it, "So you want to keep it straight?" I said, "Yeah, I want to keep it straight. That's nice." So took the comb, took some cream, and then he applied it on my hair. And surprisingly, I found that it was 5 minutes since he had done that, and my haircut, or he was not expecting me to get up or finish the job. So I asked him what's happening, and there was some weird smell emanating from the top of my head. So he told me that, "Sir, आपने बाल straight करने को बोला है, so I'm straightening it now." So he had applied some hair rebonding cream to my hair and was trying to make it straight. And unfortunately, the bullet was already fired. There was no ways I could take it back, so I let him finish it. So the enterprising man earned some few extra mullahs for that job, which I never wanted. And the other bit was that I was going back to the hospital to work with really poker straight hair. And the funny thing was, people started calling me Tere Naam, reminiscent of Salman Khan from the movie Tere Naam. So I had that straight hair, and the sisters and the ward boys would refer to me as a Tere Naam doctor. So that is what had kind of become popular or known as. And even today, if I go back to my medical college, the few of the ward boys and sisters from my time, so 15 years ago, would recognize me as a Tere Naam surgeon rather than Dr. Kutti or Sunil Kutti. So that is one thing that the barber did to me, which kind of gave me a nickname at that point of time. So the thing is, barber is unfortunately a regular part of your life. You have to go to them at least once in a month or so and interact with them. So what happened was, after a while, when I came back to Bombay, I started interacting with another boy, and barber is one such person whom you like to go to the same person and again. So it's like your tailor, and you presume that he is the only person who can stitch that perfect pant for me, or stitch that perfectly fitting shirt for me. Similarly, a barber, you want to go to the same person again because you think only he's a person who can understand my hair well. So I started going to this chap, and he turned out to be reasonably good. So he would give me a haircut. So it happened 3 or 4 times, and he was giving me a haircut, and things were going well. And then one day he asked me, "Sir, आप करते क्या हो?" Well, very interesting question. So so this is what we do normally when we sit with a barber. We talk about politics, we talk about films, we talk about people in the vicinity, we talk about every possible thing. And this guy coolly asked me, "What do I do for a living?" So I told him, "I do exactly what you do, but 2 to 3 centimeters below what you do." So this guy was stumped. He didn't understand what I was trying to say and never bothered to explain anything beyond that. I had the haircut, went back home, and next month I came back to the same chap, and then again he asked me, "Sir, आपने last time बोला था 2-3 सेंटीमीटर नीचे, होता क्या है? What do you mean by 2-3 centimeters below? I mean, आप करते क्या हो?" Again he asked me. So I told him it's same thing. I operate on the brain, which comes 2 to 3 centimeters below where you do your work. So I use the scissors, use instruments, and do the same thing. So that was the time he realized, yes, okay, fine, this is what he does. But the funny thing is, what I told him is not just accurate in terms of what I do, but historically also. This is one very nice thing about the history of surgeons. So when we look at the history of surgeons, there is an entity called as a barber surgeon. So if you look at the earlier times, the 14th century or the 15th century Europe, most of these people who would treat the patients were physicians, and they were nobility. So they would not like, these clergymen would not like to deal with blood or bloodletting or cleaning wounds. So these jobs were given away, were expected to be done by somebody who was good with the hand. So barber was the natural ally that they found. So soon they started getting better at that, and soon the surgeon. So if you look at it, surgeons in some ways are descendants of barbers. Even in today's times, if you go to a barber shop in Europe or America, you find a barber's pole. So what does a barber pole typically have? It has a white pole with a white cloth with red and blue stripes around it, each signifying something. So the red signifies the blood, the white signifies the bandage that is used to tie, the blue again signifies the vein, and the pole signifies what you would hold on to as somebody applies a painful cut on your hand or your wound. So the barber's pole, which is still which still can be seen in many barber shops, is reminiscent of the fact that at some point in time, barbers were playing the role of a barber surgeon, till it became a proper course and people started educating themselves in the art and science of surgery and decided to become proper hardcore surgeons. And now in these times of the lockdown, where barbers have become a rarity and extremely difficult to find, and where you're not allowed to go out even if they are available, the right thing to do is stay indoors, be there at home, and if at all you want to try your hand or something, haircut is a good idea. So you can pick up one of your kids, give them a nice haircut if they are okay with it, if they are not the complaining sorts, and then you can try it on yourself at least 10 times before you venture into giving your wife a haircut. Thank you.